What's up, what's up?
As you guys know, Ash and I are going to be mothers, and today what we're doing is updating you on our vial, and we're gonna do a question game.
About being parents. Questions that you're supposed to ask your partner before becoming parents.
And we'll see if we're compatible as parents. I hope we are. All right, you wanna share what we've done so far?
Yeah, so basically we need 2 sperm donors, okay?
Dos.
Yep, because I'm gonna be getting pregnant with her babies. She's gonna be getting pregnant with my baby. And she's going first. Right now, we're working with a company that has a bunch of US donors. So we basically just found our white sperm donor, so.
And that's the one that we don't really need immediately, but we have it.
But we're wanting to make those embryos at the same time that we make our other embryos, just to have them already ready.
H-O-T-T, hot to go.
H-O-T-T-O-G-O. We'll take our embryos hot to go. Yeah. Are you confused at what to do in the bedroom?
Or do you miss our viral kissing challenges?
Either way, have we got the place for you, our Patreon.
Our Patreon will give you confidence in the bedroom.
And we post kissing challenges every other week. So if you're interested, head on over to Patreon. We post every Sunday. We're gonna get those embryos hot to go. We got the sperm hot to go.
Okay, yeah, so basically we have that baby, or babies, because we might have twins. We'll talk about that later, reserved. But the one that demands immediate finding is the Peruvian donor.
The elusive Peruvian donor.
So the update on that is that we're going to Peru literally next month, which is November. And we're going to be looking for a donor in Peru. We're gonna vlog the whole thing because Peru does things quite differently. But as far as our American donor, we literally yesterday just put it on hold, and
we put it on hold like a week ago.
We redeemed the baby.
That's the verbiage that they use. We put it on hold. I think we had 7 days, and then we just barely redeemed the baby.
Yeah, that's the update. We're going to Peru to find the Peruvian donor. We found the American donor. The vial is reserved for the American donor, and we're just waiting to go to Peru to find the Peruvian one, and that's the donor that we need literally the fastest, which is next year of 2025 after we get married, most likely in November. So almost a year from now is when we will actually be needing to.
But we're probably gonna actually make the embryos before our wedding. Yeah, I think it makes most sense to deal with the whole egg donation and all that before our wedding, as opposed to it'll just take more time because we want to get pregnant as soon as possible after the wedding. So we'll see. We'll let you guys know how that goes.
Yeah, so that's a little summary. So now let's get to the question game.
I found 36 questions to ask your partner before having kids. We'll kind of jump around, choose the ones that we think are the most interesting. I think this will be a good question with kind of getting all of you familiar with our backgrounds with having a kid, so you kind of know where we're coming from as we have this child. So, did you have any babysitting growing up? Or did you do any babysitting growing up? How much? How did you like it? Would you like to do that forever?
I did babysitting or had a babysitter?
Did you babysit at all?
Not really, no. I mean, my brother and I, we were raised, we're a year apart. So when we would stay alone, it's not like I was taking care of her.
A year?
A year and a half, a little less, yeah. So when we were home alone, it was just him and I. It's not like I was the babysitter. It was more of I'm just home alone with my brother. But the question is, would you like to do that forever? Is that...
I think it means being a parent.
I think I view that so differently.
Yeah.
If I did babysit my brother, it's not the same thing as babysitting my baby. I wouldn't even be babysitting my baby. It's a whole different world to me. Mm-hmm. So yes, I want to be a mother and I don't mind being the one that is at home doing most of the raising at home, I guess. So yeah, that's my answer. What about you?
I did a whole lot of babysitting. I'm the oldest of 6 children, and I literally had every single Tuesday night and every single Saturday night all through high school and junior high that I can think of. I think even maybe a little bit in elementary school, 6th grade maybe. I babysat at least twice a week, and it was always me. I had a little brother who was 2 years younger than me, but he never was in charge of babysitting because he would terrorize everybody, so I was the only mature one that got to do that all the time. I didn't love it. I'll be so real with you. But I do have lots of experience with kids, so.
But you wouldn't want to do it forever.
I wouldn't want to babysit forever, no. I have been scared of having kids because of that, because I don't love babysitting. And honestly, a lot of other people's kids, I'm like, not a fan of. Not that I'm not a fan of, I just wouldn't want to hang out with them all the time. Everybody and their dog. My dad is always telling me, everybody that I know is always like, your own kid is different. It's so different. Like, it's a love that you cannot even explain. My best friend has a baby, my godson, who's almost 2 years old. And she's just like, it is the best thing in the entire world. Like, this love I've never felt in my entire life is the best thing ever. Like, you have to have a kid now. Like, she's always trying to get us to get pregnant sooner because it's so amazing. So I think at this phase of my life, I'm going to be like 30 and you're going to be what?
32.
33 when we have the baby. I think that's a good time. That's a good time frame. I feel good and ready with that time frame before I'm going to be in my career. So,
what is your wildest dream when you see yourself with your child? Wildest dream?
Like, what is, do you have any like daydreams or things you think of with having our kids? Like, do you have any visuals when you think of kids?
I think of more what makes my heart melt is, believe it or not, seeing my mom with our kid and my dad and seeing them interact and having my dad show our children things that he showed me when I was a kid. Like, to me, that's so heartfelt. Cute. Yeah, like watching it happen. What's cute about it, because it's going to be kind of like watching me when I was a kid, but I'm the third person now, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm excited about the most.
Re-experience your parents.
Yeah, but
from that perspective.
But through the new lens.
That's cute. I think for me, what I visualize, I have like a bunch of different things that I think of. I'm a cheese, so I think about this kind of thing. I think of coming home from flying, from being gone for a little while, and just like you and the kids waiting up at the door for me or being really excited for me to come home. I think about taking
the door.
them.
We're gonna be at the airport.
I mean, it depends. Sometimes I'll have a car and just come home. Okay, at the door or at the airport, wherever you want to come get me or you want me to come to you. And also just like traveling the world with our kids, getting to show them cool things, got to bring them to Peru and show them what's good with all the food.
Can't wait. Yeah.
And just little things like I sent you a little reel of that girl making like a little fairy garden for her girls. I want to do stuff like that with my kids. I'm really excited for that.
That's so lovely.
So lovely.
It's lovely. What should our kids' relationship with technology be? At what age should our kids get their first cell phone? Computer in their room, ? VR headset, ? So Ashley and I have talked a lot about this, and we're pretty much on the same page. We're very anti-technology, even though we're influencers.
I know. I feel like you wouldn't think that with us being influencers.
And we entertain, and that's like our bread and butter, and we're very privileged, and we love what we do. But at the same time, we believe that there's an age to be exposed to technology. I want our kids to be kids and live a very... And it's not that kids that play games on their laptops or whatever aren't kids, but it's a different type of experience. I want our kids to actually have like real life tactual, is that a word?
Yeah.
Like real...
Tactile?
Yeah, tactile experiences. And so to answer the question... what age? I mean,
what age should
probably in high school. Somewhere in high school.
I feel like probably there's things like Gab Mobile, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's specifically phones for kids in elementary, junior high, high school, whatever. And there's a lot of parental controls. There's no internet on them. But there is still like a music library that's been like vetted by them. And you can have specific apps that are like parent approved, basically like Duolingo, things like that. Yeah. That's probably what I'd want to give our kids in like junior high.
Yeah.
You know, to like, so they have a car, they have a phone, we can like get a hold of them, you know, when we need them, but nothing too crazy. And there's still some apps that they can do that are actually like productive for their brains.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our 2 cents. For me, what my biggest fear with technology is that I fear that my child will be influenced to be things or think they are things that they're not. And I rather our children discover who they are on their own without somebody telling them or like pushing them to believe there's something else. I think that the internet has that influence, which can be really good sometimes and other times not. I just not willing to gamble as a mother.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I think most people know that being on your phone all the time or on technology all the time is not as good for you as going outside and doing things. And as a child, I got to just go like roam around outside and just let my imagination run wild. And I think that was really good for me. And I want that for my kids as well. What lifestyle standards do you have today that you have to keep or you won't be able to function? How would we accommodate those things, especially during the first few years?
So we haven't really talked about this, but what immediately came to my mind as far as my lifestyle, I'm a very active person. I would like to be more active. I love to play tennis. I like to go to the gym. Those are things that I need in my life to feel good about myself. When I'm not working out, I don't feel good. Like I almost get sad and depressed because I start gaining weight and I'm just not the person that I know I am, which is someone who's fit and healthy. Mm-hmm. So going to the gym, playing tennis are things that need to stay in my life, even while I'm pregnant, after pregnancy, while we have kids, for me to be mentally stable. Yeah, that's what I need. What about you, baby?
I completely agree on that. So we definitely need to figure out how to like manage and maintain working out still with kids. And then I feel like I need alone time sometimes, especially for like my own spirituality, to focus on that and like gratitude. I don't know, just having time alone to think and to be is important to me. I also would like to get better at going out into nature. I haven't really been great about that. We're going to be in California though. I really want to go to the beach, which I think will be perfect with kids actually, because we'll be able to bring them to the beach and entertain them for free. But yeah, I feel like finding some alone time. I think the alone time will be fine because I'll get a lot of that while I'm like working and you know, staying at different hotels and stuff. Yeah, so I think that'll be okay. But we'll see. We'll see how we get everything to fit.
Yeah, I don't have a doubt in my mind that I can make all this work while having kids. People do it all the time. My dad's done it. My mom's done it. My mom still does it. It's just a matter of having priorities and creating a schedule and working the schedule. And same with Ash's alone time. You're going to have that with your work.
Yeah. There's a girl that goes to our gym that will bring her like her little girl in her stroller or whatever and just have her like sitting there.
That's going to be me. Hey, what challenges do you think will arise since we are a multiracial family?
Oh.
Never thought about this, but we definitely are going to be multiracial.
One thing is that people will probably like wonder if they're actually my kids.
Yeah.
Like that could be.
Do you think that would bother you?
Probably a little bit. But like, do they not look like me at all? What do you think?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think it'll be interesting raising them bilingual because we plan to do that. I'm curious to see how well they take to Spanish versus English, what they prefer to speak in. I don't know. What comes up for you?
I grew up not necessarily multiracial, but as I guess you could say like a foreigner. But as far as how that would impact us as a family, I'm not the type of person that focuses on stuff like that. You know me. I don't notice if people are looking at me bad or I don't focus on that. I think if anything, it would be an impact that our children would feel more than us. Growing up as, I don't want to say an immigrant, but I'm just going to use that word. I definitely felt different and like, because I don't know if it's just me or because I just spoke so many languages, academically it was really hard for me. Like I feel like I didn't know English that well, or I did know English, but I just like grammar. I still don't know grammar till this day. Even in Peru, I moved to Peru. I didn't know Peruvian grammar that well. So no matter where I was, I just didn't know a lot of things. Yeah. So maybe our children might feel that impact because they're learning two languages. It's easy to get confused with one language, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I've always wanted to have my kids in like an immersion program, whether at a school or online, I don't know. But I have like cousins who've been in immersion programs where they were learning Chinese and English in school, and it's cool because they were learning all the actual like grammar and stuff as well. You know, I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, that too. Also, maybe one thing I really want to raise our kids by is them being proud that they come from a different place in the world. I think like as an immigrant, it's very easy to feel not proud because everybody else is not mixed. You know, everybody else is fully white, so you feel like this outcast. You know, and then your family eats differently. You have a whole different culture, so it's very easy to feel left out. You know, like for example, at lunch, everybody would have all these like American stuff, like Lunchables and like this yogurt. I would have this like meal that American kids would be like, what the heck? You know, and that makes a kid feel insecure and weird, you know? So
Did
just
you ever have anticucho at lunch?
no. But I had like, I don't know, like stuff that American kids don't have, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'm thankful because I know my mom was aware of my health and wanted me to have stuff that's whole foods and stuff like that. But when everybody else is having something different, and as a kid, you don't understand that. So I think it's just telling our kids and explaining to them why we give them the food that we do to not make them feel outcasted or weird or abnormal from other kids.
What's an appropriate punishment or consequence for a child hitting you? How would we approach discipline on our family?
We've talked about this a lot, and Ash and I grew up very differently. I come from a Latina background, which was a little bit more violent, and Ash comes from your typical good old Mormon family, like Brady Bunch energy, you know. I definitely, you know, I believe in not hitting your kids, but I believe in creating consequences. You know, if our kid does something that we find that is inappropriate, then there are consequences that come with that action. Now, hitting is never an option to have a kid learn something, at least not in our books, because we talked about it. I think for me, we've been learning a lot and we're still learning. I haven't even touched the peak of how much I'm wanting to learn about what works. And I know every kid is different. But for me right now, what I've seen is a lot of mothers doing timeouts. And one thing that's important that was missing in my childhood was that when I was being punished, I was never talked to. My parents never explained why I was being punished. And I think that it's important to explain to our kids when we're putting them in timeout, this is why you're in timeout. And also telling them that we love them. So it doesn't feel like we're being mean, you know? That's what I think.
Yeah, we've been, it's hard because neither of us fully believes in gentle parenting, to be honest. It's a little, I just feel like it can get so out of hand, and I've seen so many instances where I just feel like it doesn't work. But I think there's a fine line. We're kind of in this fine line between gentle parenting and like hardcore discipline. We want discipline, but we don't want to like hurt our children. So it's a fine line to walk. I think the timeout thing is the thing we've really talked about the most.
And as someone who was raised in a Hispanic household, my mother was the one to normally like throw a sandal at me out of anger or like a hanger. My dad wasn't. My dad was just scary with how he spoke. I'd rather him hit me, honestly. Like getting hit, piece of cake. But my dad talking to me in a tone would give me chills, and I'd be so scared. So I know that hitting doesn't work. I know that being that way is not effective. At least it wasn't for me. Maybe for some other kids, but not for me. So having that experience, like I don't want to be the parent that my kids are taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak and I want them to listen. Like my father had that energy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it shows that you can accomplish a lot just with the tone.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm not opposed to like a scary tone. I'm maybe not yelling, but like just a very assertive, this is how it is, this is what we're doing. And I think also explaining to the kid why you're not supposed to do that, or like how that is not a good thing to be doing, so that they know why they're being spoken to, like you said. But yeah, that's what we're leaning towards. I think timeout, scary voices.
Scary voices.
Not yelling, but just like assertive, I guess.
Yeah, my dad never even yelled. That's like the crazy part. And I was so scared of him. So scared of my dad. It's crazy. You think I'd be scared of the person that's going to throw like a hanger at me? No. I would laugh and run, and it was so funny to me, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because it's like my mom chasing me. It was funny.
Oh man, yeah, we were a timeout family, and I feel like that worked pretty good. Also, I do believe in grounding. To be honest, you were like not sure about grounding, but
I need to do more reading. I haven't gotten there yet, but I would like to do more reading.
That was always a good enough punishment to keep me from wanting to do anything I wasn't supposed to do because I didn't want to get grounded. Yeah. So for me, it's like almost like the thread of it hanging over your head is good enough. I mean, I was always just a good kid, so I feel like that helped, but. We'll see if we get me's or you's.
Yeah, we'll see what type of child we get.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, guys, we hope you enjoyed this. If you want us to do more questions like this, let us know, and we'll do another video with these type of questions. And it's really good for Ash and I.
It is. Okay.
Love y'all.
Love you. Ciao, ciao.